Hello, welcome to day 15 of A Course in Miracles. Today we continue the text, Cause and Effect, still following on Chapter 2, The Separation and the Atonement. Part 7, Cause and Effect. You may still complain about fear, but you nevertheless persist in making yourself fearful. I have already indicated that you cannot ask me to release you from fear. I know it does not exist, but you do not. If I intervened between your thoughts and their results, I would be tampering with the basic law of cause and effect, the most fundamental law there is. I would help you if I I would hardly help you if I depreciated the power of your own thinking. This would be in direct opposition to the purpose of this course. It is much more helpful to remind you that you do not guard your thoughts carefully enough. You may feel that at this point it would take a miracle to enable you to do this, which is perfectly true. You are not used to miracle-minded thinking, but you can be trained to think that way. All miracle workers need that kind of training. I cannot let you leave your mind unguarded, or you will not be able to help me. Miracle working entails a full realization of the power of thought in order to avoid miscreation. So in order to start thinking miraculously and working miracles, we really need to realize how powerful our thoughts are as to avoid miscreation. Otherwise, a miracle will be necessary to set the mind itself straight, a circular process that would not foster the time collapse for which the miracle was intended. You're going to go around in circles, miracle, miscreation, creating something perfect, and then miscreating by thinking error and fear again. So it's really important that we have our minds trained to always be in line with the truth and in love. The miracle worker must have genuine respect for true cause and effect as the necessary condition for the miracle to occur. Both miracles and fear come from thoughts. If you are not free to choose one, you would also not be free to choose the other. By choosing the miracle, you have rejected fear, if only temporarily. You have been fearful of everyone and everything. You are afraid of God, of me, and of yourself. You have misperceived or miscreated us and believe in what you have made. You would not have done this if you were not afraid of your own thoughts. The fearful must miscreate because they misperceive creation. When you miscreate, you are in pain. The cause and effect principle now becomes a real expeditor, though only temporarily. Actually, cause is a term properly belonging to God, and his effect is his Son. This entails a set of cause and effect relationships totally different from those you introduce into miscreation. The fundamental conflict in this world, then, is between creation and miscreation. All fear is implicit in the second, and all love in the first. So, love is creative, fear is miscreative, if that's a word. The conflict is therefore one between love and fear. It has already been said that you believe you cannot control fear because you yourself made it, and your belief in it seems to render it out of your control. Yet any attempt to resolve the error through attempting the mastery of fear is useless. In fact, it asserts the power of fear by the very assumption that it need to be mastered. The true resolution rests entirely on mastery through love. In the interim, however, the sense of conflict is inevitable, since you have placed yourself in a position where you believe in the power of what does not exist. Nothing and everything cannot coexist. To believe in one is to deny the other. Fear is really nothing, and love is everything. Whenever light enters darkness, the darkness is abolished. That's really a key point there. Fear is really nothing, and love is everything. Whenever light enters darkness, the darkness is abolished. What you believe is true for you. In this sense, the separation has occurred, and to deny it is merely to use denial inappropriately. However, to concentrate on error is only a further error. The initial corrective procedure is to recognize temporarily that there is a problem, but only as an indication that immediate correction is needed. This establishes a state of mind in which the atonement can be accepted without delay. It should be emphasized, however, that ultimately no compromise is possible between everything and nothing. Time is essentially a device by which all compromise in this respect can be given up. It only seems to be abolished by degrees because time itself involves intervals that do not exist. Miscreation made this necessary as a corrective device. Miscreation made time necessary as a corrective device. The statement, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish but have eternal life," needs only one slight correction to be meaningful in this context. He gave it to his only begotten Son. Wow, okay. So that kind of changes the whole statement, doesn't it? For God so loved the world that he gave it to his only begotten Son, that whoever believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. It should especially be noted that God has only one Son. If all his creations are his sons, everyone must be an integral part of the whole sonship. The sonship in its oneness transcends the sum of its parts. Of course, wow, imagine that. Not only the almost 8 billion, I think, or 7.5, that are alive and well today, or alive today on the planet, plus all those who have gone before us, plus all those who are yet to come. Imagine that, the fact that God sees all, however many billions in total, or trillions of people that have ever walked the planet and ever will, that he counts us all as one, and that oneness of all of us together transcends the sum of the 100 trillion of us, or however many it is all in total. This incredibly huge number, the one together transcends the countless. However, this is obscured as long as any of its parts are missing. Even one, then the whole oneness is affected if one is missing. That is why the conflict cannot ultimately be resolved until all the parts of the sonship, everyone, have returned. Only then can the meaning of wholeness in the true sense be understood. Any part of the sonship can believe in error or incompleteness if he so chooses. However, if he does so, he is believing in the existence of nothingness. The correction of this error is the atonement. Any part of the sonship can believe in error or incompleteness if he so chooses. However, if he does so, he is believing in the existence of nothingness. So if you believe you're incomplete, you're believing in nothingness. The correction of this error is the atonement, perfect love. I have already briefly spoken about readiness, but some additional points might be helpful here. Readiness is only the prerequisite for accomplishment. The two should not be confused, readiness and accomplishment. As soon as a state of readiness occurs, there is usually some degree of desire to accomplish, but it is by no means necessarily undivided. The desire is still no means necessarily undivided. The state does not imply more than a potential for a change of mind. So when we're ready, it's still a state of potentiality. The change hasn't happened yet, we're just ready for it to change. Confidence cannot develop fully until mastery has been accomplished. We have already attempted to correct the fundamental error that fear can be mastered, and have emphasized that the only real mastery is through love. Readiness is only the beginning of confidence. You may think this implies that an enormous amount of time is necessary between readiness and mastery, but let me remind you that time and space are under my control. Jesus is the Lord of miracles, and time is not an issue for him. Okay, lesson 15. Pardon me. Following on from yesterday, God did not create a meaningless world. God did not create anything disturbing, and so it is not real. I wonder how you went with practicing that lesson for 3 times during the day. And we follow on from that lesson with lesson 15. My thoughts are images that I have made. It is because the thoughts you think you... Hang on, I'll start again. It is because the thoughts you think appear as images that you do not recognize them as nothing. Again. It is because the thoughts you think appear as images that you do not recognize them as nothing. You think them, and so you think you see them. This is how your seeing was made. You think them, yeah, and so you think you see them. I think them, I see them. This is how your seeing was made. This is the function you have given your body's eyes. It is not seeing. It is image making. It takes the place of seeing, replacing vision with illusions. This introductory idea to the process of image making that you call seeing will not have much meaning for you. You will begin to understand it when you have seen little edges of light around the same familiar objects which you see now. That is the beginning of real vision. You can be certain that real vision will come quickly when this has occurred. As we go along, you may have many light episodes. They may take many different forms, some of them quite unexpected. Do not be afraid of them. They are signs that you are opening your eyes at last. They will not persist because they merely symbolize true perception, and they are not related to knowledge. These exercises will not reveal knowledge to you, but they will prepare the way to it. In practicing the idea for today, repeat it to yourself first, and then apply it to whatever you see around you, using its name and letting your eyes rest on it as you say. This lamp is an image that I've made. That picture is an image that I've made. It is not necessary to include a large number of specific subjects for the application of today's idea. It is necessary, however, to continue to look at each subject while you repeat the idea to yourself. The idea should be repeated quite slowly each time. Although you will obviously not be able to apply the idea to very many things during the minute or so of practice that is recommended, try to make the selection as random as possible. Less than a minute will do for the practice periods if you begin to feel uneasy. Do not have more than 3 application periods for today's idea unless you feel completely comfortable with it, and do not exceed 4. However, the idea can be applied as needed throughout the day. My thoughts are images that I have made. This bed is an image that I've made. That wardrobe is an image that I've made. That glass of water is an image that I've made. This book is an image that I've made. This computer is an image that I've made. Alright, a few times, practice throughout the day. If you feel really comfortable, go for 4. That's your limit. 3 or 4 today. Alright, all the best. May you be blessed, and I'll see you soon.